gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Drydene, DRF Racing, and by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. So glad you joined us, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week with our Thursday podcast. Yeah, oh, we have no idea what's happening in the world, nor do you, nor does anybody else, nor do any of the authorities. Nobody knows what's going on. Hang on, folks. There we go. That's about as good as you're going to get. Stay home and stay safe.
Stay safe.
Yes, absolutely. Ashley Stremme alongside because Aaron continues on hiatus, mourning the loss of Tom Brady for his beloved New England Patriots. So here we go. We talked earlier this week with some drivers.
We did.
And kind of got them into their thoughts about what's going on with the future and what we see. We didn't spend a lot of time because they'd been spending time in Victory Lane with Carson Macedo and Lance Deweese. But today we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the world and from a promoter's perspective. Rex LeJeune's going to join us from up in Attica.
Yeah, it should be interesting to hear how he kind of balances everything and how he makes decisions and when you've got something we've never really been affected with.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I think sadly, or maybe we'll know at the end of all of this what quarantines are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio has been one of the states that has really clamped down on. In fact, on Tuesday was supposed to be their election day, their primary election day, and they even canceled that out. So Ohio is one of those states that probably took it right out of Rex's hands.
Right.
You know, so, and maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. We'll talk to Rex about that as well. I'm going to chat with him here in just a little bit, but also want to share with you our friends at Plan B Sales. Exactly, one of our partners here on Wing Nation. Plan B Sales, some of their partnerships, you know, Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and other drivers. If you need diecast of these guys, there's only one place to go. That's www.planbsales. Use the promo code MRN, and you will get free shipping on orders over $20. They specialize in Auto World, Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, and University of Racing lines. Actually, this week, a brand new University of Racing. If you're an old, historic NASCAR lover, they have got Buddy Baker's Superbird.
Oh,
the
that
car
is
with
cool.
the wing on the back, the Superbird, and it's a
That's
University of
awesome.
Racing special, and that was just unveiled on Tuesday afternoon. So really, really neat stuff. Plan B Sales. Again, that promo code MRN for free shipping. So there was some racing last weekend, and it was in the state of Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Imagine that. Shocker. Shocker. And it was at Port Royal Speedway. Now, there was not racing for the lead at Port Royal Speedway. Watching the Speed Shift TV replay of this and the coverage of this, the race for the lead ended about 20 feet before the flag stand on the green flag. Because that's when Lance was gone. And he never looked back. He never gave anyone a chance. He was just being a big old meanie leading that race around that.
He's doing what Lance does.
And it serves him right, though, that he missed a great race because it was right behind him. It was Brent Marks, Danny Dietrich, and Logan Wagner. They were throwing haymakers at each other, as called by our buddies Bert and Earl on Speed Shift TV. Here it is, our Drydene Diesel all-death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Drydene death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Here comes Wagner. Wagner looks to the bottom of Brent Marks. He's going to make that pass for second. Or does he? Marks turns the car once again and drives by. Now here comes Danny Dietrich once again. He's going to go to the bottom of Logan Wagner. He's going to go to the bottom of Marks. Danny Dietrich looking good as we're 3 wide off of 2.
A battle for the second spot. Here comes Dietrich again. Going to try and go low on Marks and Wagner. Going to try and get the 2 for 1. Not going to happen as they will. No, he will get by Logan Wagner. He'll take that third spot away. Danny Dietrich up the third. He'll push up a little bit into the wall. Off at turns number 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway. Danny Dietrich up the third, but Logan Wagner not going away just yet. He's going to go low on Brent Marks. He'll take second spot away from Brent Marks. Dietrich will go around Marks as well for third.
But here comes Danny Dietrich. Close racing here on the front stretch. Where does Logan Wagner go? He's going to go through the middle. Dietrich even further down to the bottom as Lucas Wolf. He'll try by the number 5 of Brent Marks, but a great battle for that second spot.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Drydene Diesel All Death, the official death of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit drydene.com for more information.
Earl and Bert ain't scared to get jacked up about a race, are they?
Oh, never.
I
God
love
bless
those
them.
guys. Their passion for it is absolutely amazing. Just really, really neat stuff. You know, if you're ready to take your engine's performance to the next level with traditional quality and 21st century technology, Drydene's complete line of engine oils, greases, hydraulic and transmission fluids, they help increase the life and efficiency of your engines, equipment, and machines.
And if you want greater performance and protection for those critical parts, go to drydene.com or call 1-877-DRYDENE. Drydene is the official oil of the World of Outlaws.
We had Logan Schuchart. We've already recorded it, but he's coming up on Saturday, okay? And Logan Schuchart, of course, we talk about passion. Bert and Earl. Dave Klinger, the president of Drydene, okay? You want to talk about passion. And Logan mentioned us, and I actually talked to Dave about this at Volusia. Dave has yet to go to Victory Lane. We've seen Dave with second-place runs. We've heard Dave with second-place runs with motivational speeches.
I don't think he's ready.
I don't
think
think
the
he's
world's ready.
I don't think so either. I mean, I love Dave Klinger. I mean, he just is such a passionate guy. And then they go to Volusia. Dave was down there Friday and Saturday. Logan about won Friday night. And then Sunday he did win, and Dave had already flown back to Pennsylvania. So it is great stuff. We love our friends at Drydene.
Shark Racing, personal hype guy.
Motivational speaker.
Yeah,
that team's got a motivational speaker, so it is great. Very, very passionate. Speaking of passionate, our friend Chuck Sink's very passionate as well, as Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. I have been on an apple kick lately. I am eating Sage Fruit apples every day. I got them a while back, and they're still good. I got them in Florida.
Oh, okay.
And I'm about out, though. And so I've got to do their Apple Store tracker here thingamajig.
Figure out where you can
Figure
buy
out where I
them.
can go get them, that's for sure. But they believe in sprint car racing, as a proud sponsor of Sprint Cars for the past 17 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 5 years.
They love sprint car racing, and they're there for their sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. They value their relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. So, if you don't know, ask your local grocer for Sage Fruit.
Absolutely. Great, great stuff. Sage Fruit. You and I both toured the orchards.
We did,
Oh,
yes.
my gosh. What a great place.
Incredible facilities and what they do there. I mean, just
Yeah.
throwing
absolutely.
out apples and cherries through those little machines faster
I
than...
went during cherry season. Walked into a field, and there's cherry trees.
Uh-huh.
And they're busy talking, and meanwhile, I'm
Meeting
like
them.
behind them. They're, hey, over there on that mountain, we did this, and over there. And I'm standing behind the guy just literally as fast as I could pluck the cherries off the tree. Probably cost him 6
I
or
was
8
going to
pints
say,
of
profits
cherries.
are
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah, I mean, but that's their passion. That is wonderful people. You know, we talk about passion a lot of times in this sport, and there's nobody that has more passion for sprint car racing and than Rex LeJeune at Attica. And I'm telling you, I love getting to Attica Raceway Park. It is just one of my favorite racetracks on the tour to hit, and I try to get there yearly. I fail 50% of the time. I make it 50% of the time, just the way the NASCAR schedule and everything else goes. And then Lord knows this year we don't know what schedules look like. But Rex LeJeune is the chief cook and bottle washer there, if you will, the main man up there, and he joins us on the hotline now. Hello, Rex. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Hello there. How we doing, guys?
We are doing well. How are you doing, Rex?
I'm doing great.
It's a loaded question. I know that's a stupid question to ask the way things are. What, Rex? Can you describe what a track promoter is going through in an uncertain time like this?
Well, just a lot of uncertainty, obviously, and we're just preparing as if we're going to race next week, and then we're just going week by week here as we've already canceled for this Friday, obviously, and the way things are, you just never know when things might turn around. So we don't want to put it way out there that we're canceled for a month down the road, and then something would happen going in the right direction. So we're just basically going to take things week at a week and go from there and see how things play out here.
Rex, is it more of, how do I want to say this? Are you kind of heeding by what you're being told from your acting government? Is it a decision that you're making? How do you come up with this decision, as to cancel this week and then looking forward into the weeks ahead?
Well, it was sort of the middle of last week, I believe it was, kind of Wednesday, Thursday area that we did some investigating and leading up to this weekend. And it came down from the governor that, any crowds of 100 more is considered a mass gathering. So, that's where we fall into, and made a lot of calls and talked to the Seneca County Health Board, and we fell in that line. So that being said was the way we had to make our decision going forward. And until they basically lift that, we're just kind of, in limbo here. So that's where we had to go in the direction. We just fall into the mass gatherings of 100 or more.
It's fascinating to me because Ohio has been one of the states that has been very aggressive.
Forward, yes.
Very aggressive with this. They were one of the first states to do the limitations and everything, and all other states are falling in a way. And when we're recording this, Pennsylvania is still in decision mode on where they're at, and of course we know what's going on over there with Lincoln and Port Royal. Now, as you're listening to this podcast, they may have changed the ruling and everything. Rex, to me, it's like, was it almost? You really didn't have a lot of decision to make. It was just a matter of heeding the state's warning. It was almost not an easy decision, but easier to make that decision because of the confinements that the state made on you guys.
Yeah, pretty much. We looked at the way things came out and the way it was worded.
Yeah,
it was even for open air stadiums. We're kind of not confined to that, but then the next sentence included, fairs, parades, and festivals and things like that. So, we just wanted to get a definite decision where racetracks fell in line here in Ohio. And that way we weren't, not doing anything by law. And we just didn't want to get to the point where we didn't have a definite answer, decide to race on a Friday night, open up the gates, and at 6 o'clock they come in and shut you down. We just didn't want to get to that point. And, then you would, tick off the government or what have you and open up some, things down the road that you didn't want to deal with. So we just wanted to be cooperative, and that's how we basically, it was out of our hands basically. And we're just right now treating it as early season, cancellation weather-wise, and we're probably no farther ahead right now than we would have been anyway, the way the weather's going to be. So we'll just, maintain week to week and go from there.
It just has a different name this year. It's COVID-19 instead of Mother Nature. Rex, how do you prepare for a race week, knowing cancellations for rain are different, obviously, but you've got to prepare the food and have the food ordered and ready before race weekend even comes. How does that work for you guys? I mean, obviously, cancellations, you keep something in the freezer a week longer, no big deal. But your employees that you have, is this something that they count on and you've got to really work with them and what really makes this racetrack go around?
Yeah, Teresa Schetzer does a great job with our concession department, and she's been busy at least for the last month preparing. If we were racing and had ordered some things. Our pop came in last week. The deliveries are about a week ahead of schedule. Of your first race, so our pop was delivered. Some of the frozen stuff was delivered, but the week of the race things we were able to cancel at this point and put them on hold. So it was great to work with our vendors and so forth on like that. But, she has, everything ready to go. And, like I say, we were just, waiting on the weather, but we were able to, cancel early enough where we could, cancel some of them things and put them on hold for now. And we're in good shape as far as that goes. And like I say, we'll be ready to go. Things are ready to go when it does come time for us to, go back to racing.
What did I see earlier this week? You put up some new fencing down the front straightaway. Did I see that? So you're getting a little chance to work on some of the off-season projects that you wanted to get done. Maybe a little extra time for that.
Well, that needed to be done before we could even race.
Okay.
It was tore down the last weekend of the season, and we put it together to get through that weekend. And then Fremont Fence does a great job, and they in the wintertime they normally lay a few people off, and when they came back to work here in the springtime, they were going to get it done before we could actually race, and they came down actually this morning and got it finished up. Sometimes you have to just wait on the weather because if it gets too wet, they can't get on the racetrack to put the fence up and just had to kind of wait for it to firm back up, and which it did, so they were able to get that done today.
Well, I'm glad they were able to get that done. That is for sure. Rex, you made another decision, and I'm going to be totally honest. You have been one of the guys that is not, and this goes back 3 or 4 years ago. You were probably not pro pay-per-view. I know that there were times when a lot of the Ohio Speedway races were on pay-per-view, and you were not necessarily on board of all of that. And so last week the announcement comes out that Attica is going to be on DirtVision. The decision, the process, getting there, your thoughts. How did you land on that? And just what's your thoughts overall on DirtVision coverage every Friday night from Attica?
Well, I'm over 60 years old, and John's even older than that. So we kind of take things as a slow approach. It took us 2 years of research to get transponders. We just kind of, try to play out all the scenarios, going forward with something. So, I say we were just, weighing things back and forth the last 3 or 4 years, the way things were going. And yeah, as you say, we were hesitant just to see what would happen, with bad weather, with crowds, so forth, if they, would stay home and watch and not come to the event. And, like I say, we just kind of weighed that for the last 3 or 4 years. And it was probably late fall last year that World Racing Group and Ben Geisler, called us and approached us about possibly joining them on DirtVision. And, they put things together, made a nice proposal to us. And we weighed things out and looked at it as a way to promote our weekly racing with 3 great divisions that we have and the great drivers that we have. And we looked at it as a 3 or 4 hour, live commercial that, we can generate, more interest in our partners and ultimately create more interest and exposure for the race teams, sponsors and partners. And hopefully both of us can create more sponsors and better sponsors and, promote our bigger events coming up, throughout our nightly programs, and that's kind of what we arrived at, and we'll see how it goes for this year once we can get started.
That's right, exactly.
Rex, I appreciate your due diligence as you talk about the transponders and making sure that you have all your I's dotted and T's crossed. So obviously, this being the first year, I'm sure you're going to be watching how ticket sales go, if people are coming to the racetrack, if it is going to better things. And I'm sure you'll kind of sit down at the end of the year and reassess things and continue moving forward with that.
Oh, definitely. Yep. We were one of the leaders, when it all came down to with Stephanie Linder, putting our social media on the map. So we were one of the, early ones that took advantage of that. And if this works out, for us, for our race teams, for DirtVision, everyone, involved, we'll continue to grow it and move forward, with it.
All right. Okay. There's a question because you're absolutely correct. Stephanie Linder, when she launched your social media campaign, it was widely acclaimed. It was probably the best social media campaign in the country for a track. So much so Kevin Harvick featured her on his Sirius show. How did she convince a couple old guys like you and John? It took you 2 years to get transponders. How did she convince you that this was a good idea? And it was. How did she convince you of that?
Well, living in the same town, with Mike and Stephanie, knowing them and being friends with them for a lot of years, we knew that if they had an idea, that it was probably a pretty solid idea.
Right.
And she approached, I mean, even the year before or something, and said, she wanted to get involved in that area. And like I say, knowing their background in racing, I knew it would be a good product. And she took off with it and ran with it and put some ideas together, and I had a few myself that we incorporated, but 99% of it was her, and she did a great job with that. So like I say, if you have good quality people working with you, sometimes that makes the decision easier too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Stephanie Linder, Mike Linder, just great folks for sure. Rex, final question for you here. Set aside COVID, set aside uncertainty, set aside everything else. How are things looking in Northwestern Ohio as far as the racing goes and everything this year?
Oh, we're going to be really strong once we get started. Again, like I said, 410 sprints, dirt car late models, and 305 sprints on a weekly program. Doesn't get any better than that. We have the 10 race series between us and Fremont with the AFCS 410s and 305 series. We have joint ventures with the late models with Attica Oakshade Challenge Series, the Attica Wayne County Speedway Challenge Series. Great partners. We have 3 or 4 races that pay at least $4,000 to win for the sprints. You incorporate all that with 6 visits by Tony Stewart's All-Star Sprints, and of course the Brad Doty Classic in July with the World of Outlaw Sprints. You can't ask for much more of that than an action-packed, condensed, basically schedule now. And I know the fans are raring to go. And once we can all get back to racing, I'm sure they're going to come out and support us. And I say it was up until the last few races in August last year that in our 3 divisions that we had B mains every week. So we're so proud of that and thankful for all the race teams that support us every race.
That is so strong. Such a strong racetrack and everything. Rex, we appreciate the time. We wish you the best when we get started, whenever it all happens. And we appreciate you sharing your insight on it today. Fascinating stuff from you on multiple topics. We appreciate you joining us here today.
Well, it's always great to be on, so thank you to you both.
There we go. Rex LeJeune joining us there. And I just love chatting with Rex because he's just done it all in the sport. I mean, he was part of the Gum Out series back when the Gum Out series was out and about. So Rex is just one of those guys that's seen it all, done it all, and been part of it, and really goes through the process. And I just can't imagine the process they're all going through now with all the uncertainty. And do they start next week? Do they start the week after that? One day at a time. Absolutely. So we shall see what happens. Citywide to countryside, wherever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where your road takes you.
Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use their tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your car the best. That's HerculesTire.com. And ride on their strength.
For sure. Hercules Tires, one of our great partners. Okay, this is the portion of the show where we tell you all about all of the upcoming races coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
DirtVision has a 5.5-hour salute to California.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Sprint car watch party.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m.
4 p.m. So there you have it. You can go to wingnation.com.
That's right.
Okay.
Check out all our archives.
As we're taping this, some places are still racing, some are not. We have no idea. Check with your local racetrack. If they are racing, go out and support the boys and girls racing out there. If you're not racing, stay safe, be home.
Stay home and stay healthy.
Stay healthy, be safe, and everything there. So there you have it. There is what we call the upcoming races segment. Yes, the upcoming schedule, for sure. HRP wings, original recessed rivet wings manufactured. They use wind tunnel technology on their wings, and it gives performance testing to outpace the industry in design, innovation, and functionality, not only for sprint cars, but lightning sprints, micros, and junior sprints, shipped across the world, and they can be economically ground shipped to your door.
Yeah, you just got to go to their website. It's easy to shop their entire line of Hefner Racing products at hrpracing.com from desktop or even on your phone. First-time online users, this is extremely important. Pay attention.
Here we go.
Use the promo code MRN at checkout for 10% off your first order.
Woo! There we go. We're hooking you right up.
Deals and steals.
That's when you go in and get all the stuff.
That's right.
That's when you go through. That's like this past week. Earlier this week, we had a 20% off coupon for our pet supply store.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you kidding me?
Yeah. Listen, we don't have anything better to do right now.
I know.
Shop online.
Our dogs and cats are going to eat forever on what I bought there. 20% off. So right there with the Hefner Racing products. Season openers coming up. As we just talked to Rex, again, this is a moving target. This is as they are, right the way my sheet says they're
For
at.
now.
Of course, my sheet could be burned when I walk out of the studio.
Right now, it could probably be lit on fire.
Yes.
Who knows?
Attica Raceway Park, Friday, March 17th. Knoxville Raceway, Saturday, April 18th. Fremont Raceway, April 18th. Butler Motor Speedway, Saturday, May 2nd. Jackson Motorplex, the Great Lakes Shootout with the IRA Sprints, Friday, May 15th. Ashley?
The IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints, April 10th.
Right.
And that is, more importantly, hashtag Sprint Car Day.
Woo! Might be the only thing we're getting about that time. So
too.
that's the day that the World of Outlaws start back, too.
Is it really?
Man, I hope this virus gets out of here. Well, I hope it for a lot of reasons. I mean,
Most importantly to post is sprint car
importantly,
day.
the sprint car day. No. We got to get rid of it, though, obviously for the health concerns and everyone. My gosh, this thing is just brutal. It's just clobbering some people, and we certainly are. But we got to get back racing,
We
too.
do.
Yeah,
especially on sprint car day.
That's on sprint car day. Can we have a sprint car day like sprint car day is just varies. And so this year it falls on Friday, and I'm like, giddy up. We got races on sprint car day. IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints. MOA's starting their season. World of Outlaws are going to start back.
Yes.
It's a Friday. Attica will be racing. Williams Grove will be racing.
All will be right in the world.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Like I said, fingers crossed. We can have a lot of fun and talk about all of our sprint car racing, but there may be some things in the world a little bit more important than that. So fingers crossed for that as well. Yes, fingers crossed for that as well. Drydene's new DRF racing oils, proven on track with drivers and cars celebrating in Victory Lane, and now they're ready for your race engine. DRF engineered exclusively for high-performance racing engines that require maximum performance against the toughest competition.
All DRF racing and break-in oils built with competition-grade ZDDP, torque and horsepower, and superior temperature reduction. If you want that same winning performance and engine protection, go to drfracing.com and start using DRF in your next race. Drydene's DRF Racing Oil is the official racing oil of the World of Outlaws.
And yes, the World of Outlaws, they do have that watch party coming up 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. We're going to have some fun on our social media. Make sure that wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, tweet your seat.
Tweet it.
Tweet your seat. Show us what you're doing during this down period. And we'll just have to hang tough and see where we're at. You can order Wing Nation apparel. It's at wingnation.com. Our YouTube page is all stocked up.
Busy.
Oh, we got hours of entertainment on our YouTube page. Twitter and Facebook will be active on there as well, and just good. How's everything up at the chassis shop? You guys staying busy up there?
We are. We've quarantined our employees.
Yeah, have you? Yeah,
we have. Yes, all part pickups. Well, you just got to give us a call. We'll bring them out to you.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
We want to keep them safe and their families healthy. So
Yeah, we have fun with all of this sprint car stuff, and it's so important. But most important than anything else is just keeping ourselves. And I look at this. I'm not in the high risk category. You're not in the high risk category as well. But, man, we got to keep each other safe.
We do.
I think that's
and in
the
all
thing.
honesty, we're getting more work done because people aren't just stopping by the shop to hang out. So.
People do that?
Yes.
Well, I've done it before, so I guess, and there was a bunch of people there when I stopped, and there was a whole different bunch of people when I left.
A lot, yeah. So we're probably the one company that's getting a lot of work done this week.
Love that. But yeah, no, we all just got to take care of ourselves, and in stepping away from big gatherings, take care of each other as well, and hopefully this thing will pass sooner rather than later. We got to flatten that curve, as they talk about.
We got to have National Sprint Car Day.
That's right. We got to flatten that curve by April 10th. Okay.
How many weeks?
Hey,
2,
yes,
3?
Exactly. What is it, 3, 4 weeks? Yeah. Okay, there we go. We'll work on that.
We got time.
Everyone, stay home. Dummy up.
Stay home and stay healthy.
Behave. Exactly. Be healthy. Stay home and be healthy. Yes, absolutely. Coming up this Saturday, something else for you to enjoy is our Wing Nation show presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. Logan Schuhart joins us on the program, talking sprint car racing and great stuff. 7:30 and 10:30 a.m. on MAV TV. Always love when Rex LeJeune joins us. Appreciate his insight. But more important than all of that, thank you for joining us here today.
This has been the Wing Nation Podcast. Find Wing Nation on wingnation.com, Facebook, YouTube, or your favorite podcast provider. The Wing Nation Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.